The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And first up on the Factor Uncensored tonight, first, we'd like to send our prayers and our best to this family who lost two family members. Now, a weekend home repair project in Brazoria County ends in tragedy, just heartbreaking. 2 people killed and 5 other family members injured Sunday after their mobile home collapsed on top of them. According to the Brazoria County Sheriff's Office, the family was trying to level their home when the equipment malfunctioned, one of the jacks under the house, leaving those people trapped under the house. That's just one case. Imagine how many people we have seen die after jacking up a simple vehicle, their car, and it falls on top of them. Sometimes DIY can take a toll on your life. Tonight we talk about do-it-yourself projects at home. Joining us to talk about this, Doug Shoup from AAA Texas, attorney Clayton Rawlings, and survivalist Wes Critchlow. Glad to have you all here on the Factor Uncensored. And this was near and dear to my heart because my oldest brother, only a few years ago, was trying to help a neighbor out with her car, and he jacked her car up and the car fell on him and he died as a result of that. So I know what this is like, hitting close to home. But Wes, when you see stories like this and individuals who try to do stuff at their home, and once again, we want to send our condolences to this family, but sometimes you're not qualified to do it.
Yeah, I'm reminded of a story of back in the early 2000s, there was a plane crash. And as most pilots need to take their private plane to an A&P and get it checked out. Well, this pilot had to go fix it himself. And then he took off and he landed and he survived for, I don't know, it took 3 or 4 hours, but he got the safety. But he did it himself. He was not a professional A&P. Mm-hmm. And I can imagine being a mechanic, faults, mechanical stuff. I'm not a professional.
Right, yeah. A lot of people, you know, they attempt do-it-yourself projects because they want to save money.
Yeah.
Or you know, when it comes to their vehicle, maybe they don't trust the nearby auto shops. Mm-hmm. But really, there are so many complex parts in these vehicles that really need to be
vehicles
left
have
up.
really changed
They have,
recently. You know, I mean, you can't just like change an alternator and think you're good because there's a lot of technology involved.
There is, and doing it yourself, you know, you could, of course, the worst case, injury and death, but you could also end up costing yourself a lot of money if you misdiagnose the problem. You still have to take it into the shop. You even cause potentially further damage to the vehicle by trying to do it yourself. Even if you've heard that this is an easy fix, an easy repair to make, quite often it is not, even with or without some kind of online do-it-yourself tutorial.
And believe me, I've watched YouTube and I've watched the DIY videos, and it looks like it's a piece of cake the way they show it, but they tend to be professionals in that particular area.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Exactly. And you know, you're dealing with, especially with vehicle parts, you know, you've got potentially chemicals that you could be interacting with and other hazards. And so really it's left up to professionals is what should be happening. Especially, you know, these mechanics, auto repair mechanics and service technicians, they go through years of training and education and hands-on experience doing these repairs that quite often many of us do not have.
Exactly.
If I might inject the legal side of this, Texas is a comparative negligence state. If you have a tragic incident occur, if you are found to be over 50% responsible for the event, it's an absolute and complete bar to any recovery at all. And so you're on your own.
So you're asked out.
Yes. And
if you get into trouble as a result of you doing it yourself,
you have no recourse. And so what I emphasize to people all the time is you have to have health insurance. That's not fault-based. If you have a catastrophic event, the health insurance is going to take care of the medical side of that, regardless of how it happened. But every other aspect of our tort system is fault-based. And if you're over 50%, you're out. So there's a high risk when, you know, we're about to have robotic vehicles. If you hack that vehicle and you alter the software, we voided the warranty. Well, that might be a few dollars. But if there's a massive crash, you may lose your life, but more important, well, just as important, you hurt somebody else, you will be responsible for their damages. And you know, you could lose your life savings and your life.
And Clayton, have you ever seen someone to come to you who may have caused it themselves, and they're like, well, can I sue this person or that person or the person who made the jack? You know, a lot of people do that. They go after whomever may have the bigger pockets there.
Very true. Absolutely true. It's human nature. Unfortunately, I'm the guy that has to tell them in the nicest way possible, there is no solution for you, and there's not a remedy. And I have no problem having that conversation.
And many people here in America, they take up the task of doing it themselves, and that's just the wave that we're in. So, Doug, you created some tips for people out there who may be looking at doing it themselves, and we have it there on the screen.
Exactly. You know, exposing yourself to harmful chemicals, big problem. Diagnosing the problem wrong, making the issue worse, causing injury to yourself. And it also may void your warranty if you have a new vehicle. It could also slow down or impact the insurance claim as well, because oftentimes you need to have that vehicle repaired by a professional rather than a do-it-yourself, so you may end up impacting your claim process. Something to keep in mind, you know, if it's the AC, the brakes, anything electrical or transmission repairs, really should be done by a professional. Some of the things that you can do on your own, things like replacing the windshield wipers, you know, that's something easy to do. Even an oil
Moron
change,
proof.
yeah, right, you know, changing the oil, that's something easy to do. But if folks need some help, there is the AAA approved auto repair program. This is a free service that we offer people to help them find quality approved AAA facilities. They can simply go to AAA.com/auto repair and find a quality shop near them. And if they're concerned about money, remember, a lot of times, you know, auto repair shops will send out coupons. Look for those coupons, call and ask about specials.
I'm the king of coupons.
Leave it up to the professionals, though.
Wes, before we go, and I know you do a lot of stuff on your own, what would be your best advice the last 20 seconds we have here?
Well, I would say get a professional. That's my
Good advice. Good
Get a
advice.
professional.
When you're not ready, you're not ready.
Not ready.
Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor.